Fortnite has a wide variety of guns you can use, some extremely powerful, some that are actually toy guns. Oh wait, the pump actually works now. They fixed that. Well, okay, in that case, we're gonna do the top 5 worst Fortnite guns turned amazing! Welcome back to Top 5 Gaming, everyone. Here are some guns you never knew you loved because you probably hated them at one point. Drop a like on the video and subscribe to instantly acquire the epic Victory Royale. And let's get right into the video. Number 5, the shotgun. Shotguns have essentially been the most talked about weapon in all of Fortnite. They were the first main weapon to come into the spotlight because of streamers going clip hunting and filling up the kill feed with a double pump that could one-shot people. I'm pretty sure the kill record in some modes are even set solely because of the pump. Yet that damage was nerfed and reduced to something that made the pump just feel boring. I can almost guarantee we'll find some double pump comments down below. And as much as a lot of people enjoyed it, the fact is that the double pump switching method was always an exploit, even if it was a small one. Once they figured out a workaround with the time delay, the double pump was dead and buried, never to be seen again, unless they perhaps bring out a double pump LTM. Might be a good idea, and they have brought out some crazy ones lately. What about the 7 damage memes? You all know what I'm talking about. Shotguns, scrape shots hitting for 6, 7, 8, and 9 damage. I get the logic Fortnite we're going with, I really do. When you hit 6 damage at point blank with a shotgun, even a scrape shot would tear his arm apart. Worth at least a good 30 damage. People complaining about their shotguns not hitting proper damage was becoming one of the main discussions around Fortnite, which obviously isn't great for them either. And to be fair, in 9 out of 10 cases, it was just someone missing their shot or hitting a scrape. Epic ended up introducing the pellet system, in which you can see every individual pellet that hit your target with a little red dot. It helped the community a lot with being able to tell when you're actually hitting your target, but there was still a lot of inconsistencies with the damage, and even if it was just a scrape shot, hitting anything below 10 damage is just annoying. After a year of fiddling around with all the shotguns in general, it seems like Fortnite have finally settled on a system that the community also seemed to enjoy. Using the pellet system, they've now enabled it, so no matter how much of a scrap shot it is, even if it would have been 1 pellet, is now a minimum 3 at all times. The way each hit is still dealing a significant amount of damage and grants that damage satisfaction the community have been craving. To top it all off, they introduced the epic and legendary pumps and buffed all the shotguns damage, and now pumps can do one-shot kills again, and your scrape shots don't feel like you just shot some frozen piece at the enemy, or like they're a Nerf gun. For now, it seems the storm surrounding shotguns has finally begun to settle. Number 4, SMGs. So in the first few months that Battle Royale had been released, the SMGs weren't looking too healthy. I'm not saying they were ill or anything, but no one really cared for them. SMGs were a last resort if you didn't have a shotgun. And back during this time, double pump was a thing, so there was never a need to back up your pump with an SMG when you could just non-stop shotgun everyone. It seemed like there would never be a counter, new meta, or even equivalent to the double pump. But Fortnite did us proud. They've been non-stop listening to the community, and even if it takes a little time, they always balance things out in the end. In November 2017, the SMGs got a small buff, giving them a slight bit more damage. It helped a little as it made it 1 bullet less to kill someone who had 100 HP. But that was just the start. On February 12th, they increased the fire rate by almost a third. Also increased the magazine size, turning it into a mini Uzi. But then July 24th hits, and that's when the SMGs got a real buff. They increased damage and accuracy overall. The tactical SMG was becoming the deadliest pea shoot you've ever seen. Then July hit, and Fortnite just decided to give up on everything they had already tried. On the 3rd, they introduced the drum gun, and yeah, we all know about that one. It was epic yet overpowered. And on the 17th, they completely scrapped the normal SMGs like the tactical and replaced it with the submachine gun that you see today. It's not over quite yet because on the 24th, they brought out the epic and legendary compact SMGs. July was a statement for Fortnite. We're not afraid in starting again to get it right. After a few tweaks here and there, the new SMGs are finally something you can rely on a bit more in combat. The combat SMG is easy, but be careful with the basic submachine gun. It's really easy to rinse through a magazine, and you can easily get stuck reloading with an opponent in your face. Number 3, the Deagle, October 24th. To be honest, I wouldn't say the Deagle has had the roughest ride in Fortnite. It's not done too bad. It can deal out a ton of damage and has first shot accuracy, so picking off opponents that aren't particularly aggressive could be simple. But when you have only a limited amount that you can hold, having a gun only good for very unique and long distance situations wasn't exactly priority. Sure, you might pick it up every now and then to go for some awesome shots, but the moment someone rushes you like a madman man. The hand cannon can essentially become a wasted inventory slot unless your name is Avery. An SMG could have held them back better than the Deagle's slow fire rate, and the fact is, it just started getting left behind a lot. And considering it's a legendary and epic weapon, I don't think it was Fortnite's intention to have the hand cannon bypassed and left wasted on the ground. It got to a point where they had to remove it from supply drops on the 2nd of July because people wanted a decent weapon from a supply drop, not something they would rather not see. Discussion that wasn't too loud within the community was about the Deagle's first ever teaser video. In this video, it shows a player shooting at his opponent's build so he falls to his death. But what most people didn't realize is that he does this in one shot, which the Deagle couldn't actually do in game. Maybe it was something they intended but then held back for some reason, we don't know. But on the 24th, the update that brought us the Halloween-themed Fort Nightmares, we finally saw that one-shot mechanic. All hand cannon damage was almost double when hitting structures, which made wood a one-shot break. The ability to revive the Deagle from its average life turned it into one of those new metas we see today, used in similar situations to the heavy sniper when taking down structures, bring back out of the long-range combat and also into close range, the shotgun and Deagle meta. It's incredibly hard to pull off constantly, but if you have the accuracy, you're more or less an unstoppable bull in a China shop, smashing your way through every structure to hunt down your enemy. We've seen a lot of top players like Aiden using this meta in recent tournaments, and I wouldn't be surprised to see more people using it today. Number 2, impulse grenades. Apart from the mythological Zapatron sniper that was removed days after its brief appearance, the impulse grenades were the first energy-based item we truly got to experiment with. Making their first showing on the 12th of February, a metal ball with blunted spikes that emits a blue burst of energy from its core that bounces people away. Now, it doesn't cause any damage itself, but used in the right situation, you can have opponents helplessly falling to their deaths without having to get yourself in harm's way. The whole community loved this new item, but its wow factor for being the latest gadget dropped rapidly when no one received the kill. You'd kill the opponent, sure, but it would say he dropped from height and it wouldn't count as yours. It was a loss in XP and just that general feel-good vibe when you see your opponent's name pop up on your screen to rack up the kill counter. Barely a month later, they heard the community once again and introduced a mechanic that would allow the kills to count as yours. It would only work if the impulse was the last thing he touched before dying from impact. So if he bumped past something on the way down, it would cancel the mechanic and the kill would not count. It was a tricky mechanic to work out and always a bit glitchy, but 9 out of 10 times, it would work fine and you'd get the kill. Became fairly popular again and was heavily used among groups that love to troll each other. You've probably seen Ninja constantly killing Dr. Lupo with them, and they became such a commonly used item that even after months of their release, the impulse grenades were still something you'd always see in a match. Fortnite actually ended up making a powered up version you know as the Shockwave, except this one has twice the boost and prevents fall damage. They've both been vaulted for now, but can still be found in Creative and Playground, where they are a common feature to see in a lot of minigames and battles. Number 1, the guided missile. Oh my god, the guided missile, bring me back. So out of all of the weapons and items released throughout Fortnite's past, what would you say has been the most glitchy, the most unreliable, the one that makes you have a most games you attempted to use it? Personally, I would have to say the guided missile. It was one of those magnificent ideas that they just couldn't quite perfect. I mean, for all those who were playing Fortnite at the time, this was something everyone was pumped for. Rocket riding was already a massive part of the game just after its discovery during the 2017 Halloween event with the pumpkin rocket launcher, and then just as rocket riding starts to settle down on the 14th of March, we finally get the guided missile. That rocket riding phase is now back up and running, but with the ability to do it to yourself. There's only one problem though. It was a bit overpowered and glitched beyond playable. It would work every now and then, sure, but that's every now and then. When self-rocket riding dropping onto a sloped surface could leave your character completely wonky, leaning over to one side. This glitch also appeared later on with the golf carts. Then you had the invisibility glitch. You'd try to self-rocket ride and then you'd suddenly disappear, exit the control mode, and you'd reappear. The gist of it all is that it was too buggy and powerful. You could literally ride the thing all the way across the map. Sure enough, on April 11th, they removed it, stating that they heard and listened to the feedback from the community, and it wasn't until July 31st that we saw it reemerge from the vault, and with a whole new rigging. This time it was intended for more of a UAV-like usage instead of intending to blow players up. Its speed was reduced as well as turning speed for console players. It used to be even worse as PC players could turn the missile with incredible agility, while console players would have to take slow, wide turns. Part of an update a couple weeks later was to increase that turning speed for console players to better match PC. Seemed like the guided missile was finally the great weapon it was supposed to be, but unfortunately, even though Fortnite had all the right intentions and everyone in the community liked how it was supposed to work, the weapon just wouldn't stop with the glitches. Something that seemed like a 50-50 chance of happening was the missile shooting in a completely different direction to when you pulled the trigger, most of the time causing you damage or even killing yourself, which things like latency, for example, would affect the general means of play. When it's something like latency where they can't control that and that is the cause for a glitch and not like some other underlying factor, that is where it becomes a problem in the game, and that is where they needed to step in and say, hey, this doesn't make sense, let's take this out of the game. And then on November 1st, it went back into the vault and can only now be found in other modes. So that has been our list of the top 5 worst Fortnite guns runs turned amazing. Click that like button if you've enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Be sure to push those notifications, that Christmas bell. 'Tis the season, everybody. Hope you guys have a wonderful day and keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.